Hey, this is Vedat from Programmership. In this chapter, we're gonna talk about error handling in Swift. Error handling is also known as exception handling in some other languages. It is a very useful feature to create custom errors for undesirable situations, so we'll have more control over our codebase. Well, I want to make an example to show you how it works. Suppose we have an app that a user needs to register if he has no account yet. In that register page, we want to check if the entered username length is between 8 and 20. Also, both passwords are the same. First, let's begin with creating a struct called register account. Let's say struct register account, and inside let's define a property which is username that will be string, and also password 1. I'm gonna create another password 2. Just because it is register, we need to validate both password must be the same, right? And also let's create a function called register, and it will return a boolean value. So inside the function, I'm gonna make some control. Let's say if username dot count is smaller than 8, then we're gonna say username is too short, error. If username dot count is greater than 20, then we're gonna say username is too long, error. And also let's say if password 1 is not equal to password 2, we'll say passwords don't match, error. So this is a super simple register account logic. Now I want to create some custom errors that we are gonna use in our register account structure. To do that, we need to conform our custom errors to error protocol. Let's see what I mean. I will create an enum. Let's say enum register errors. It will conform to error protocol, and inside the enum I will add some error types. Let's say username short, also username long, and finally let's say case password don't match. We can also send a parameter to these error cases. Let's also provide a description parameter for the password don't match. To do that, just open a parenthesis, and inside the parentheses, let's say description that will be string. So to make our register function able to return back errors, we need to use throws keyword just before the return type definition. Let's do that. Here, I just say throws. And inside the if statements, I will throw my custom errors for these different situations. For throwing the error, we will use throw keyword, just like returning a value from a function. So here in the first if statement, let's say if username.count is smaller than 8, then throw an error, which is my enum name, which is register errors dot username short. And for the second control, let's say throw register errors dot username long. And for the last one, let's say throw register errors dot password don't match. Also, let's give a message. Let's say not equal. And finally, if we could be able to pass all the if statements, then return true, just like that. Alright, we have just learned how to throw errors. Now it's time to catch these errors. To catch errors, we are gonna use the do catch block. With the do catch block, we can try to use a register function, and if there is any error, it will be catched. Let's do that. Let's say var my account. I will create an instance of register account. Let's say register account, and inside I will give some parameter for registering purpose. Let's say Vedat for the username, and for the password, let's say 1, 2, 3. For the password 2, also let's say 1, 2, 3. And here let's begin with do keyword, and inside the do I will try to call register function. Remember, our register function return back a boolean value or an error. So here let's create a constant called result, and it will be equal to my account dot register. And because of our register function may throw errors, we need to use try keyword to catch these errors. And if the register function returns back true, then there is no problem. So we can also control if result is true, then print successfully registered. And if there is any error, let's catch it. To do that, we will use catch keyword. And let's say catch. I'm going to specify the error type for this catch statement. Let's say register errors dot username short, which is the first error type. That means if register function returns back a username short error, then this catch statement will be executed. So let's also add another catch statement for the other error type. Let's say catch register errors dot username long, then we will do something here, and also let's add another catch for the last error type, which is password don't match. Here inside the password don't match, we can just create a parameter to capture the value. Let's see, let message. Alright, inside the catch statements, let's basically print something and see if it works. Let's say for the username short, you must need to enter longer username. For the username long error, let's say you must need to enter shorter username. And finally, for the last catch statement, let's say print, I'm gonna just pass the parameter which is message. Now hit run, and we can see the first catch statement was executed because our username is shorter than 8 characters. Let's try to enter a username longer than 20 characters. So let me copy this Vedat and paste it few times. 20 and let's say 1, 2. Here we have 22 characters for the username. And let's hit run again. It says you must need to enter shorter username, which is the second catch statement. So let's give a username between 8 and 20, and I will give the password different. For the password 1, 1, 2, 3, and for the password 2, let's say 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's hit run again. And it says not equal, which is the third catch statement. And we can see the not equal, which is our description value. And now let's try to give each parameter correctly and see if everything works. Let's hit run. And we can see it says successfully registered. So it works. Of course, this was not a real account registering logic for a production project. It was kept simple for explaining the error handling. Finally, I want to talk about availability attributes. What is that? Sometimes in our app, we may want to use a feature that is only available for a specific iOS version. So somehow we need to specify that this feature can only be used if the device iOS version supports it. For example, augmented reality feature is only available for iOS 11 and above. If we want to use that feature, we need to think about users whose device iOS version is below iOS 11. An error may occur if they try to use this feature. This is also error handling. For this kind of situation, there is an attribute called available. Here, let's say available. Suppose there is a struct that is used augmented reality feature. First, let's delete all of this. And here let's create a struct and say use AR, which stands for augmented reality. And inside the struct, let's say we have a function which is display augmented reality, something like that. And I'm gonna leave this function and struct empty. I'm just trying to explain how available works. Here, let's make this struct available for only iOS 11 and above. To do that, at the top of the struct, we're gonna say add available and open your parentheses, and inside the parentheses I will mention the iOS version, which is 11, put a comma, and then I will use asterisk. Asterisk represents future versions, so we don't need to specify each version that is above iOS 11. The asterisk will do that for us. Well, we also need to control device version. expression when we create an instance of useAR structure. We can say something like that. If hash available, again iOS 11 and asterisk, then we can create instance and useAR feature. If it is not available, we cannot use it. Here, if the user device iOS version is 11 or above, then this statement will return back true and we can use the AR feature inside the if block. If the version is below 11, then this statement will return back false value and else statement will be executed. Alright, that's it for this chapter. I hope you have learned something about error handling. See you in the next one. Goodbye.